The Chart with Seahart. Today's Top 10.
10, 9.
That's right. Welcome back. You're listening to The Chart with Seahart. And today is a little weird. We're not actually going to be doing a top 10. So sorry if you were looking forward to that. It's not happening. I do, however, have Adrianne Chapman-Gorey with me today on the show. Say hello, Adrianne.
Hi, how are you guys?
So today we are going to have a little chat about what Adrianne does here at the campus. She's a first-year music arts student, and a bit about her music career. And we're going to play some of her music. So get things started off. Where are you from?
Well, I live in northern Cape Breton right now. That's where I call my permanent home, in Cape North.
Wait, so do you commute to the campus from there?
No.
Okay. I was going to say, that's a bit of a drive.
I'm living in Dartmouth right now.
Okay.
My permanent home is in Cape Breton, and my husband's from Ingonish, but I actually grew up really close to here on the Eastern Shore in
super
East
close.
Chesapeake.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. Oh, you're really from Nova Scotia. Okay. And before music arts, did you take any lessons or vocal training of any kind, or is this kind of your first shot at that sort of thing?
Well, I didn't take any private voice lessons per se, but from a very young age, I was able to take advantage of really great opportunities to sing with provincial choirs and private choirs. So I got a lot of training from choir directors.
Excellent.
From a young age.
And was that all for free? Because that would be a bonus too.
Not.
Okay. I was going to say, that'd be a bonus. So I guess that kind of leads into my next question, which is, when did you start singing? And how did you get your start in music?
Well, there was always music in the house growing up. I just remember listening to music in the car and singing all the time. And
I can relate to that. The shower as well.
Yeah. It was always around. My immediate family isn't particularly musical, just with the singing, I guess.
Okay.
So I guess that's kind of where that came from. But when I was 8 years old, my aunt actually got me up on stage at a family wedding reception and got me to sing for the bride and groom, and it made a grown man cry. So
no way.
Apparently that's when it was kind of known that I had this
So it was kind of a natural talent then, and you've just cultivated it since?
I guess you could say that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow, a grown man cry. You brought the house down.
I did.
That's awesome. How old were you?
8.
8? Mm-hmm. Oh my God. I know people my age who would bring the house down, but for an entirely different reason, because they're tone deaf. So we've got a few of your songs that we're going to debut on the show today. I was just curious, which one would you like to hear first? Or would you like our listeners to hear first, I guess?
I think maybe Donnie's Ghost.
Donnie's Ghost?
Because that's one of the ones that my husband wrote, and I'm singing. And it just is a really neat old ghost story, which has ties to Ingonish, which is where my husband's from and is really close to where my ancestry comes from as well.
Oh, so it's kind of a true story then? Or I guess if you believe in ghosts?
An alleged story, right.
Okay, cool. All right, well, this is Adrianne Chapman-Gorey with Donnie's Ghost on the Platypus.
Did you ever hear old Donnie McKinnon tell the one about the ghost? A spook infested waterfront, and Lighthouse was his post. Lighthouse was his post. It was there his eerie tale began many years ago, the likes of which you never heard in any song or show. Foreign fishing ship arrived with the sick crewman in tow. They put in from the gate amidst the sleet and snow, amidst the sleet and snow. When the skies had finally cleared, they left him in the sand, forsaking his last wishes to return to his homeland. Return to his homeland. Now Donnie hears him rolling barrels off the wharf late at night. If you ever heard that racket, boys, you'd get an awful fright. Sometimes he hears him moaning at Donnie was tormented by the specter in a shed. His doggy started growling, the hairs went up on his head, hairs upon his head. I need this call, he shouted, so you get out of here. The next thing that he knew, the vision disappeared, the vision disappeared. Now Donnie hears him rolling barrels off the wharf late at night. If you ever heard that racket, boys, you'd get an awful fright. Sometimes he hears it moaning as he walks along the strand. He's trying to steal a boat to get back to his homeland. Donnie hears him rolling barrels off the wharf late at night. If you ever heard that racket, boys, you'd get an awful fright. Sometimes he hears it moaning as he walks along the strand. He's trying to steal a boat to get back to his homeland. He's trying to steal a boat to get back to his homeland.
That was Adrianne Chapman-Gorey with Donnie's Ghost. And Adrianne is a guest on the show today. You're listening to The Chart with Seahart. And we'll get some more information from Adrianne in just a little bit. And here's some more of her tunes. Right now it's Journey with Separate Ways on CCKC 88.9 The Platypus. Journey with Separate Ways on The Platypus. Welcome back. You're listening to The Chart with Seahart, and I have a very special guest with me today, Adrianne Chapman-Gorey, in the studio. Say hello.
Hi.
Hey. So we were talking a little bit before the break about how she got her start in music. She is a first-year music arts student here at the waterfront campus of NSCC, and she got started at the ripe old age of 8. And so you've had a fair amount of experience so far. But my question is that I was curious from the moment I heard your music was, what drew you to the more traditional Celtic style of music? I mean, there's so many different things out there now. Like, what brought you that direction?
Yeah, well, that's a great question. Lately, it's especially meaningful to me because really lately I've just been trying to research my ancestry, and so my mother's father, my grandfather, came from White Point in northern Cape Breton, which is the area where I live now, northern Cape Breton.
Right.
And I just spent a lot of time there growing up. I spent most of my holidays and summers, and so I was just sort of around that culture. And
so you're a product of your surroundings then.
Right.
Yeah.
And I feel like I have a lot of Scottish and Irish in me.
Oh, in
I've
your
got
blood?
the freckles, I've got
You do look
the brown
pretty,
eyes
yeah.
and the brown hair. Well, naturally brown hair, not natural.
I feel you on that one. I've
Not
got
brown
a
right
Welsh
now, but-
mother, so it shows in my face as well.
Yeah.
Especially when I'm drinking. The red cheeks right away.
Yes, So I've just been drawn to it naturally and listened to a lot of Rankins and Rita McNeil growing up and car rides to and from Cape Breton.
Okay, so it's fair to say they're part of your influences then as well?
Absolutely.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay. And what would you say, like, what role does music play in your life and career? Is it more of a hobby for you, or is it the thing you're absolutely the most passionate about?
It's always been my passion.
Yeah?
And
That's excellent.
Yeah, I think I've been very fortunate to have known that from a very young age and be encouraged and given opportunities to pursue that. So
That's not a luxury a lot of us get. I just figured out in the last few years that I wanted to do radio. So.
Right. And even having said that, I left music for a good 2 years at least.
Oh,
and
really?
I actually took business admin here. The first year.
That's the opposite end of the spectrum.
I know. But I've always had this entrepreneurial spirit as well. So I took business admin here. I thought about taking music, But I thought, I'm going to take the safe route, something that'll give me a real job.
A fallback.
And I'm
Yeah.
doing air quotes here now. Real job.
If you couldn't hear it in her voice, they were there.
And so I concentrated in management the second year.
Okay.
And I wanted to open a coffee shop. That's another thing I've wanted to do from my early teens.
I could
And
see like pairing those passions
Exactly.
though. Yeah.
That's exactly what I had in mind.
Because a lot of coffee shops, especially here in the HRM, they tend to play local music. So you could promote yourself while selling things.
And because I'm a musician, I love coffee because it's necessary.
Well, yeah, it's your lifeblood, right? Oh, that's cool. So, yeah, and I think, and I don't know if you'll agree with me on this one, but I think the music industry as a whole is heading kind of towards a more do-it-yourself sort of approach with artists marketing themselves. So I think having that business background would probably be quite beneficial to you.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely learning a lot more that would apply directly to my music career, the business side of my music career in this program now. I can't say enough about how wonderful this music arts program
Plug
is
for music arts at NSCC.
Yeah, for anyone wanting to become employed in the music industry in any facet, definitely come to NSCC.
You're in your first year. Maybe take us through kind of a typical day for you as a music arts student. Okay.
I have a theory class. I have an ear training class most days, one or the other, or both. And then we learn about doing live sound, so we can set up our own live sound to make it sound really good. Ideally.
Oh, so you don't need a tech or anything? You can do it all yourself?
Not necessarily. Techs are also very important, and they're great to have so that you don't have to do that multitasking, but in a lot of cases you need to when you're starting out.
Yeah.
And then we have the music business class, so that teaches you all of the behind the scenes stuff and how to really make money, make a living.
Right. And to be able to promote yourself.
Exactly.
Yeah. I actually took that for a semester.
Yeah.
I am a dropout.
Well, you found your passion.
That's right. It wasn't right for me.
Exactly. So, and then I have like a vocal class, my main instrument class. And my secondary instrument is keyboard, so I play a little bit of keyboards in my ensembles. I'm in 2 ensembles as part of the program, and we rehearse weekly.
So how many people are in the ensembles?
One of them is for, it's a Latin and R&B ensemble, and I think all or most of us are actually going to Cuba in May.
Oh, that's an annual thing for the music arts students, isn't it?
Yes, it's the International Exchange Program.
Cool.
And so there's a lot of people in that one because of that reason.
Right.
I think there's like 12 maybe or somewhere around that ballpark. And then the other ensemble I'm in is like a world jazz or just general world music ensemble, which is cool because I get to play.
That's a little out of your comfort zone, kind of, maybe? No?
No, not really. I've always loved all kinds of good music.
I can 100% relate to that.
Yeah.
I don't stick to one genre because
Good music is good music.
It is, yeah. And I don't understand the people that pigeonhole themselves into the one genre and like they don't like anything else because...
Well, they're not enlightened yet.
That's exactly
they
it.
Don't know.
Like I myself am not a huge country fan, but I appreciate it for what it is. And there are a few songs that I enjoy because, there's something to be taken from every genre. And I really like when artists can kind of incorporate that into their music. I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
It shows where they're from.
Right.
Yeah.
And I did listen to some jazz growing up. Like I had this Ella Fitzgerald album that I just wore out.
Don't blame you.
Yeah, it was like her greatest hits or something, I think. And so like some Louis stuff and things like that. But other than that, I wasn't really exposed to a whole lot of jazz. But this program is largely jazz-based, which is great because you learn so much theory.
Yeah, which is important.
That you can apply to everything.
That's excellent.
So, yeah.
All right.
I love it.
Well, we're going to talk with Adrianne a little bit more in just a bit, but right now we're going to debut yet another one of her songs. And this one is called Hall in the Lines, but it had a different name originally. Is that right?
It was originally called Song for Our Ancestors, but when we went into the studio to record it with Fred Lavery at Lakeland Sound Studio, he referred to it as Hall in the Lines, so we started calling it that.
All right. This is Hall in the Lines on CCKC 88.9, The Platypus.
His family was starving, so he couldn't stay. So he gathered his kinsmen whose homes had been down, and they sailed across the ocean in search of new land. And it's yours.
Barracuda. That was Heart on the Platypus. Welcome back. You're listening to The Chart with C Heart. And on today's show, we have a very special guest, Adrianne Chapman-Gorey from First Year Music Arts. Hello.
Hi.
Hey.
Thanks for having me.
Hey, my pleasure. This is great. So we have been talking about kind of your beginnings and how you got into the music industry. Mm-hmm. And you mentioned that you play keyboard. Are there any other instruments that you play, or is it just keyboard and voice? Is that your main
No,
bag?
I've dabbled.
Oh. Do tell.
I don't want to say I play guitar because I really don't. I tried to, and I failed horribly.
It is difficult. It's a lot harder than it looks.
It just hurts my fingers, okay?
Oh, I see. It's a pain thing. Okay.
Yeah. But in all seriousness, I did try the guitar for a little while. I can scratch some chords out horribly.
Okay.
But I picked up the drums on my own probably 8 years ago or so. So
Really? I feel like that would be more of a challenge than guitar.
Sometimes. Well, I'm pretty well coordinated, I guess, and I've always had rhythm in me.
That's handy.
Yeah.
It's a good jumping off point.
Yeah.
Yeah, my brother was a drummer, and
cool.
I was always amazed by it because he started learning by ear, and he didn't take theory and actual lessons until he'd been playing for years. So it was a struggle for him to kind of wrap his head around that sort of thing. Yeah. Like I just, when I think drums, I don't see it in the same way as a lot of other instruments, in that if you're looking at a sheet of music, like how does that relate to which drum you're hitting? That's the part that confuses me.
Oh, yeah, there's different symbols for the different...
Oh, really?
Yeah, for the different drums.
So sheet music for drums wouldn't look the same as for a lot of other instruments?
Sort of. Yeah, but no.
Am I making sense?
Yeah. It's hard to explain.
So you say you're not super great at drums, but better than guitar?
Yeah. And I also played flute in school bands starting grade 6. And then I played it for a couple of years and got bored. But I do play the Irish flute a little bit and tin whistles and things. And I'd like to learn how to play those better because they're sort of Celtic instruments.
Yeah. Think you'll ever take a crack at the fiddle?
I did. And also, I kind of leave the string instruments to my husband, Mike.
Okay.
He plays the things with strings.
That's an
and
agreement
I do
you have?
the other stuff. Right.
Okay.
He just does. So, yeah.
He gets things with strings and you use vocal cords.
Mainly.
And your keys.
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Yeah. I want to pick up the Irish drum a little more, too.
So did you study
lessons.
piano classically at all?
I took some lessons here and there. It was kind of a strange journey for me with piano so far because my aunt had this little tiny Casio keyboard.
Who didn't?
Yeah, when I was little, and I'd mess around with that and like pick some things out by ear. And then
That's a skill in itself. I'm impressed by that.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
But I mean, I was just like, I don't know, this is normal.
I guess, yeah,
For
if it comes
me.
naturally to you, it would feel normal.
I suck at stuff, don't worry.
You're not good at everything. Okay, that's reassuring.
I'm having a hard time with theory. I'm going to admit that. But so I started there, and then I think I took a few piano lessons, and I was just always kind of a self-starter with that because I have a natural inclination to it, I guess, and so I'm passionate about it, and I just wanted to learn more and more and be able to play harder things. And so I took lessons on and off and taught myself some in between, and yeah, now I'm here. I've actually been teaching music lessons to beginners.
Oh, wow.
Since I was about 15, 16. And
Oh, you've been at this a little while then.
yeah.
Okay.
So I'm not a pro piano player by any means, but I can,
You're able.
yeah,
Yeah.
I can read music pretty well. And
As long as you can
sight
accompany yourself.
read, and
I feel like that's pretty
Well,
important.
that's a large reason I'm here, is because I want to learn how to more confidently accompany myself on the piano.
So
I've
how
done
does
it, but-
that sort of skill and the passion that you have for wanting to try harder things, like how does that relate to your songwriting process? And is it kind of a joint collaboration between you and your husband? Do you do stuff on your own, or how does that all work?
Well, I actually just wrote my first song, and it was a co-write with Mike. I had this concept; it just came to me. I don't know if I really have a process. It's just kind of
Just
It
happens?
happens. Yeah, and I think this is probably the case for a lot of songwriters. Some other songwriters have a way of going about it, but I don't know. I just always had melodies that would pop into my brain, and I'd sing when I was doing a chore or something like that. And
So the words don't necessarily come first, but the
not
melody does?
usually.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
But I mean, I've seriously only written one song ever.
That's more than I've written. So.
But I was doing dishes a few months ago, and this song, complete chorus with words, melody, just came out.
That's
Of
amazing.
nowhere. And I ran to my phone and recorded it, and between the time it popped in my head and recording it, I had forgotten
Oh, no,
a
that's the
line
worst.
of it, but then I worked at it and I got it back. So
Awesome.
I had this whole concept that I wanted to convey, and we're actually going into the studio at the end of this month to record an EP, so that's going to be one of them. Yeah. And so Mike helped me out a little bit with, I told him the concept and the story I wanted to convey, and he helped me out just to kind of fit appropriate words in some places where I was having trouble.
Okay.
But, you know, I played the piano and I worked out the chords and transcribed the basic structure of the song that I wanted, and then he just kind of helped me put the
fill
pieces
in the blanks
together. Yeah. So it's called How I Speak to You.
Okay.
Generations was the original title, and it's just about my ancestry and the culture and wanting to learn more about that and celebrate it.
Excellent. That seems fitting for your first song that you've written, for it to be completely about your roots and everything that's led to you even being able to write this song.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
So,
we might be able to debut that later in the year when it's recorded.
Be cool. Yeah.
Keep your eyes peeled, or your ears open, I guess, for that. All right. Right now, we're actually going to go into one from your album. What was the name of your album, by the way?
It's called Where the Heart Lies.
Where the Heart Lies. This is Fortunate Ones by Adrianne Chapman-Gorey on the Platypus.
How many years have gone by since they said, haul up your boats, boys, the fishery's dead. It seems like a lifetime ago since I left. The only direction was west. We left it all in the government's hands. We paid the price on the rigs and the sands. There's only so long you can protest and plead when you've got a family to feed. Home was a place by the ocean, a whole way of life passed to daughters and sons. Now home is the place we vacation, so we can go visit the fortunate ones. I decided to go for a year, maybe two. It's not like I had anything left to lose. 20 years later, my kids call this home. It's the only one they've ever known. There are days when I just miss the smell of the sea, the taste of the salt on the Atlantic breeze, and I still see my parents and the tears in their eyes when I had to say my goodbyes. Home was a place by the ocean, a whole way of life passed to daughters and sons. Now home is the place we vacation, so we can go visit the fortunate ones. Remember the bay when the days were so clear. It's always too hot or too cold up here. Maybe I'll get back at some point this year. Now there's always so much to consider. At least there was work up here waiting for me. I met some friends, got a great family, and I know someday when my work here is done, I'll be a fortunate one. Home was a place by the ocean, a whole way of life passed to daughters and sons. Now home is the place we vacation, so we can go visit the fortunate ones. Home was a place by the ocean, a whole way of life passed to daughters and sons. one I'm leaving you for.
Adele with Rumor Has It on the Platypus. Welcome back. You're listening to The Chart with Seahart, and today's guest is Adrianne Chapman-Gorey from the first year music arts program here at the Waterfront campus. Welcome back, Adrianne.
Thanks.
And that means also, unfortunately, Adrianne has to go soon. She's got a class.
Little thing called school here.
Hazard of the territory. But we've got time to talk just a little bit more and play one more of your songs. So I guess the question that's on everyone's minds by this point, if they've been listening, where do you see your career heading over the next few years? What are your goals musically?
Well, you might not like my answer,
Ruh-roh.
but I don't have a definite plan.
Oh, no, I kind of
Yeah.
like that, actually.
Good,
Yeah,
cool.
I'm very much a fly by the seat of my pants kind of girl.
Well, see, I feel like if I have a solid plan, that I might miss opportunities. And
Okay.
it might not work out the way that I hoped or something like that. So I have a general idea, obviously.
Well, that's better than nothing.
I mean, I definitely want to be in the music industry.
Okay.
I want to, in some capacity, I definitely want to pursue singing as a career and performing, traveling, touring. I want to see the world.
But
But
see,
I
it
mean,
sounds to me like you have a bit of a plan.
well,
It's just not set in stone.
I mean, yeah, like I don't have an idea of exactly where I'm going to go when or
Right.
how that's going to happen yet. But that's part of the reason I'm here too, is to figure all that out.
Exactly.
And I also have some backups. Like I love to teach private music lessons and
Plus, you've got your business degree.
right.
That's
So,
helpful
I've
in
got some tricks in my
today's
back
economy.
pocket. Absolutely. Yeah.
So if you could go anywhere in the world to perform, where would it be?
I would have to say, that's a tough one.
I know, I
Just
put you right on the
Europe in
spot.
general.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty broad.
Yeah, I know.
Just a whole continent.
Germans seem to really like Celtic music.
Okay, I
And
can see that.
We've gotten some positive vibes coming from some Germans. So we
Okay.
got reviewed. There's a link on my website, by the way, which you can check out at www.inganishmusic.com. That's INGONISH.
For those of you
music.
who don't have spelling come naturally to them.
Right. Well, it's a weird place name.
Yeah. But if you're from here, you probably know. but
right.
Anybody else might not.
Yeah, so check out our CD review there. You can listen. You can actually download a free track from our CD,
Ooh, score.
Where the Heart Lies, if you sign up for our e-newsletter, which we would love, and we'd love to keep in touch with you and tell you about upcoming events like the recording of our EP, which will be happening at the end of this month.
Another plug.
Yeah.
Do you have a name for the EP yet?
No.
Oh.
I don't think I didn't really think about it that much. And
Well, how far
we
along
haven't
are you into the
discussed it.
songwriting process for the EP? Like, is that
All the
still
songs
underway?
are written.
Oh, it's all
Yeah.
done? Okay.
Yeah, we're just kind of coming up with arrangements for it now and thinking about, I think we're going to try and press it on vinyl,
Ooh.
which would be really cool. Cause
Yeah,
that's
there's
really hip
definitely a
right
market
now.
for that now.
Yeah. Our CD went really well. Like our album on compact disc actually sold
Wow.
really well. And we were pleasantly surprised. We got 1,000 printed and they're almost all gone.
That's super impressive because a lot of
So-
computers don't even have CD drives anymore.
know,
I learned when I
yeah.
ball my last laptop.
But people listen to them in their car,
Oh,
which
right,
is
of
where
course.
I love to listen to music because
Yeah.
it's surround sound. You can just like sing your head off.
Which I do regularly. I don't know about everybody else
Yeah.
out there, but that's one of my favorite pastimes.
Yeah.
It's a good way to
So
get your emotions out. It's a bit
Exactly.
of catharsis.
yeah,
Or your rage at other drivers. I mean, whatever. However the mood strikes you.
whoever you rage at whoever rather than doing other things. Yeah.
Cool.
So definitely, I advise that, and we'll certainly still have it available digitally, and I think we'll do a limited amount of the EP on CD.
Okay.
So
If you are interested, we could also promote it on our station. We've played a few songs
be
on the
great.
show today, and I can potentially get some in rotation on our station.
absolutely.
And would you be able to provide a link to the single that can be downloaded for free? I could put that on our Facebook page.
Yeah, if you just go to my website, www.inganishmusic.com.
One more time.
Yeah.
It was www.inganishmusic.com.
Yeah, and right on the main page there, you can sign up for our e-newsletter. You just give us our email address. We won't use it for spam or anything like that or give it away. And you will right away be able to download a free track.
Right on. Free music is good music. And speaking of which, that draws us to the end of the chart with C Heart. I'd like to thank Adrianne for being on the show today.
Thanks so much for having me.
And this one is called The Storm on the Platypus.
This wind blows strong, it's